Forgive me, my loyal subscribers. This is the great Bob Ross making an unscripted, haphazard video because it's almost Oscars time. I'm going to put this up. It'll probably be done uploading right as the Oscars are starting. So you'll get to watch my top 10 of 2009 just as the Oscar opening ceremony is beginning. And then you'll get to watch the Oscars. So it's great. I wish I could have put up, say, I don't know, a live feed of some kind on a website that I do not have to be able to talk with you guys live, but I just don't have the time or energy to do so. And I apologize for not putting up DVD reviews last week. My digital voice recorder broke amongst working 6 days last week. I'm supposed to be part-time because I'm also a full-time student, and the worst possible things happened to keep me from being able to make videos last week. But now I've got a new digital voice recorder, and I'm making this video. So let's get to it. Number 10, Star Trek. I love J.J. Abrams. Not a Trekkie. Never seen anything to do with Star Trek. In fact, the only time I ever saw anything to do with Star Trek was watching the last 30 seconds of an episode of Next Generation while I was waiting for the Incredible Hulk to come on Sci-Fi. And I was never into it. But this movie really surprised me. I'd say it's the Iron Man of 2009 because it started off the summer movie season. Wolverine started off the summer movie season, but that was kind of lame. This was the real start of the summer movie season. Great action, great script, great characters, great movie. Number 9 is Drag Me to Hell. It's Sam Raimi. I love Sam Raimi when he does horror movies. Hate the Spider-Man series that he's done, with the exception of the first movie, which is okay. But 2 and 3, don't like. Really apprehensive about Drag Me to Hell, but I saw it anyway once it got amazing critical reviews, and I agree with them. I think it's one of the best horror movies to come out in a very long time. It perfectly blends comedy, horror, gross-out gags, jump scares. I mean, it puts everything in a blender, and it works great as an allegory as well. Number 8 is In the Loop. This is one of the funniest movies I've seen this decade. It is biting, scathing satire. It's almost so just ruthless that it starts to become a little depressing in the end. But it's not like the governments don't deserve it. It's got some of the most quotable dialogue of the year, maybe the most quotable dialogue of the year. Definitely go out and rent this. It's nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay this year. It's not going to win it, but it's definitely deserved it. Number 7, Up in the Air. This was originally going to be higher, but I think some of the plot twists near the end were kind of not needed. But it's a timely movie, and it's one that was really needed to lift the spirits of people in this hard economic situation most people are in. George Clooney, Anna Kendrick, Vera Farmiga, Jason Bateman, Zach Galifianakis. If I pronounced his name wrong, yell at me, I don't care. They all great performances in this, even though some of them are only in it for a couple minutes. Everyone does a really, really good job. I especially like the scene with J.K. Simmons. His brief appearance, one of the most touching moments of the movie. And it's a movie that makes you smile. Number 6 is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This is my favorite Harry Potter movie. I love the Harry Potter series. Oddly, didn't get into it until really last year, just before the new one came out. Just wasn't into them, usually not into fantasy movies, but gave them a try and found out I loved them. And the newest one, I think, matures in a way that none of the other ones could have. It's sort of a bridging movie, bridging the gap between the teenage years and the adult years, and I really can't wait for Deathly Hallows Part 1 next year, or the end of this year, rather. Number 5 is Where the Wild Things Are. This movie, it just came out on DVD. It touched me. It's a movie about childhood and children, but it's not necessarily for kids. It's for adults as well. I really enjoyed it. The music was great. The acting was amazing, especially from Little Max Records. He had such a great performance for such a small child. Great, great job. Number 4 is An Education. I really wasn't expecting to like this movie. I only went and saw it in theaters for the few weeks it was in there because it had such awards hype when it came out. I do think it deserved the hype. I usually don't like romance dramas, but this is a really good one. I think it may be the setting and the performance by Carey Mulligan and Alfred Molina's supporting performance that really lifted it above the rest of the sort of romantic dramas that I've seen. And I don't see many. But this one was one that was really, really well done. All right. It was tough for me to decide my top 3, but I boiled it down to rewatchability, so the ones that I think have the best rewatch factor. Number 3 is The Hurt Locker. This will probably win Best Picture tonight. In fact, I'm almost certain it'll win Best Picture tonight. But it's not really a rewatchable movie for me. I've seen it once. I didn't feel the need to watch it again on DVD when it came out a couple months ago or last month, whenever. But I do think it's a great movie, great war movie. Really gets to the heart of why certain people decide to go to war. Not countries decide to go to war, but why specific people decide to enter the armed forces. And it shows it from the soldiers' perspectives, a bunch of different soldiers' perspectives, so you get different viewpoints. But it's an action movie at its heart, and it manages to not be overdone, and that's really why I like it. Number 2 is Avatar. This was going to be number 1, but I decided another movie deserved it because I don't think I'll be able to see Avatar again. I've seen it twice. I don't think I'll be able to watch it again simply because I'm never going to have it match the first 2. Because once it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray, even if I have a great surround sound system and it comes in 3D and I've got a huge, massive TV, it's just not going to match the theatrical experience, and it's not going to be as good. I think that it's an amazing technical achievement, one of the best in movie history, and I think the story is incredibly underrated. Yes, the themes have been touched on before, and the plot is remarkably similar to a bunch of older movies, but it hasn't been done this way before in a sci-fi setting and incorporating so many other themes that the other ones didn't. I mean, I think it's a rich, great action movie. I think the characters are really well acted. Not amazing acting, but a step above the usual action movie crowd. Okay, number 1. What could number 1 be? Well, I think I'm going to have to give it to an animated movie this year, and that would be Up, Pixar's newest movie. I don't think I've seen a Pixar movie that made me cry like this one did since Toy Story 2. This movie, it's just the pinnacle of why Pixar is what it is. It's the first time they've been nominated for Best Picture, although they probably should have been nominated for other movies in the past. The Incredibles, Ratatouille. It's just mind-boggling that they've been able to make so many good movies this many times. The animation is beautiful. The voice acting is great. The story is awesome. It should win Best Original Screenplay. It won't, but it should. Great, great movie. My number 1 of the year. I own it on DVD. I watch it frequently. Great, great movie.